Story 1. I've been up again all night. I can't put a number to the countless of nights I've lost sleep thinking of the worst day in my life. We'd been together for 4 years with a 3-year child that was conceived almost immediately after meeting up one night and becoming inseparable after. It was difficult in the beginning. She was leaving an offensive marriage that occurred too young, and I from a similar uncaring relationship that never had hope for me. We found hope between us after coming from our broken past. So dangerously we pair off, and she never left after. It was difficult trying to adjust our crazy single lives into a healthy relationship we both never experienced or grew up knowing from our family home. Our toughest hurdle from the start was understanding our boundaries towards other folks to maintain respect with each other. A lot of our previous friends and, very few, family had to be pushed out to make our relationship with a child on the way work. A lot of regretful mistakes between us. I withdrew from her during an episode of depression, working a stressful graveyard shift and hooch. I tried to be the same for her, but I was scared and didn't try hard enough to be better. Eventually I became the opposite, more often than not, of what she fell for in the beginning. She was distant and unsure. A lot of times, I'd find her post online taking about everything I'm not, and her friends only knew me as someone who's a sloth, filled with vile greed and at any moment wrathful. She treated me like I to her, like strangers. No surprise. We only knew each other 1 year and already a child, but we pushed through our difficult moments to overcome and build a relationship. We went years getting closer, intimate and loving each other. We took care of each other for 5 years. Then she got a job at my place of employment of 5 years. I've been working doubles and overtime on graveyard till noon for a promotion that would change our family's lives for the better. I mistreated her by not caring for her and giving her attention. I was under a lot of stress and mental anguish. I misused my time with my family by drinking a lot. I felt a bad feeling between us, so I checked the phone bill and couldn't believe the thousands of messages sent between her and a coworker in the last 2 months. She cheated. Sexting. Oh, coworker was married with 2 children. I told the wife. Broke up with GF. She pleaded forgiveness. Asked her to move out. Lost weight and stopped drinking. I got attractive. I started dating a girl 9 years younger out of spite while she looked for an apartment. She never did move out. Couldn't afford it. No roommates pulled through, nor did she want my money because I'd have something over her head. We had a lot of vicious fights and almost ended it all myself twice from the pain. After 18 minutes I finally said to her, I'm not doing anything anymore because I want to focus on our child and our family. She deleted all new friends, quit her job, and we did just that. We never said anything about our broken relationship. 3 years ago I was torn apart by her betrayal, yet after a very difficult and turmoil journey we've moved across states to give a chance to our family and child's future. I rather suffer this possible mistake than share my child between homes, so I fight for forgiveness. I can love her, but knowing who she can be also makes me loathe her. Most days today are like what the good old days as before, but 10 times better. Then I see our future. Forgiving is not forgetting, so I understand I have to live with this horror. She invested in another man and grew some degree of emotion to just text and perform says. She hurt me with total disregard for someone married that took advantage and dumped her right after. She said, I pushed her to that point. I stay while I suffer to always be close to my beautiful loving child who gives meaning to living this life. To not rob her of any chance to grow in the home of 2 parents that cherish every moment of her. I love her. I feel better, yet broken. She makes me feel vulnerable, because how can I be the one when others got to know her like I do? I hope my child tells me I made the right choice for us someday in the future. TLDR. I don't care for who reads or who cares to reply. I had to get this off my chest and talk it through, even if to strangers or no one. Your relationship has always been a disaster and your child suffers far more than you realize. Your child will have her own disaster relationships because this loveless partnership is the example you gave her. She absorbs all of your interactions and absolutely can see how badly mom and dad dislike each other. It is always better to surround children with healthy interactions and relationships than broken ones. The only thing you'll teach your daughter is that it's acceptable to stay in a broken relationship. You're so right. Ever since moving across states we've learned to communicate and treat each other better, that we feel like we're doing good. Not as great as a normal relationship, but we both come from a broken past that blurred our judgment. I'd like to keep hope that'll change for the better, because I need to know that I tried all one could go. Child starts school in a few weeks, so we'll have time after years to be alone together and see how we get along, just us two. So long that's happened that I'm nervous about thinking of what we'd do or say to each other without our child here. I'd like to know how we'll choose to use this time, because if we waste it, then I'd see how invaluable our time together has really become to us. I'd like to imagine we'll find each other once again during this time, like we both wished it would have happened at the beginning, like the start of a healthy and mature relationship we all wished would have been. It's nice to dream, but I anticipate it will be far from reality. Too many walls have been built up, and a bit of rug sweeping has built up hard feelings. Be honest when you recognize it's not working, and time to move on for each other's happiness. I do agree with the wisdom of your words. Also, reading your words emotionally trigger feelings of memories when we constructed a new wall or placed a rug over each other due to neglect, and true, we done so too many times. At the worst, I remember us intensely arguing from sunrise to sunset until we no longer had the strength to do more than lay down and hold each other tightly while both cried our eyes out. Arguing endlessly numerous of days within the last couples of years to ultimately end up knowing all we ever really had was each other. I think breaking each other down to our core helped us see each other's importance. However, if it does come to neglect again, I'll freely end this and dedicate life to finding peace within me. I wish you nothing but peace. I don't think the damage was truly addressed properly, and those walls still exist. You can't resolve conflict with arguments. I hope you find the peace you deserve. I hope my child tells me I made the right choice for us someday in the future. They won't. Trust me on this, no kid is ever happy to grow up on a broken house, not home. Notice the wording, with broken dishes and shouting matches at 3 a.m. You think kids are too young? They won't notice you're both engaged in a cold war? Kids see everything. They pick up emotional cues you haven't even noticed yet. How come mom and dad don't hug and kiss all the time like Brenda's parents do? Why does dad turn into an ironing board whenever mom gets a phone call? You are effectively teaching them that this is what a marriage is supposed to be like. Do not stay and make your kids grow up in this hell. 2 separate and happy parents is far, far better than 2 bickering ones. I know my rant was tedious to read, so let me clarify that what you say is so true. 2 years ago and the past year we've both grown as individuals to become better parents. We're far from perfect, yet continue to grow. We haven't fought over the past year like we once did before, and spend more time doing family activities. Our future is still uncertain. Have you and your wife considered couples therapy? It may help you process all this and allow you both to better understand and grow to a better relationship. Right now, you're hopeful, which is at least one positive. But you're depending on your child to keep your marriage intact. That's a big demand. The best for your child is having a loving, happy mom and dad, whether it's together or separate. Try counseling to help you to see if it really can be as a family unit. Yes, I have us on schedule to family therapy. All of us, even my toddler. I advocated against therapy in place of personal will and determination. However, it's become more important than ego at this point. Child is starting school next month, so we're choosing to start these sessions together as a couple until we feel situated, then bring our child when it's the appropriate time. The problems you have both been facing all these years are each other. Reading these words humbles me, knowing so much truth lies beyond what I'm able to share to this audience. If only they could feel our experiences of the story, then everyone would realize why broken people can be fragile yet very capable of overcoming crippling hardship and come out a stronger person. I agree with what the first commenter said. It would be better for you two to just separate for the sake of your child's well-being. I would suggest just going for shared parenting if you're thinking about your child's health and development. Ending a marriage does not mean ending a family. The way I look at it, your biggest priority is your kid's best interest. I think, going your separate way, finding your peace within you, will make you a more effective parent. Best wishes. Worldwide comments of the day. Man, I can't help but feel for the AP's wife. The only person she can turn to is the one that porked her husband. That's beyond sad. A moral obligation? This from a woman who betrayed her husband and her best friend? Pardon me while I roll my eyes. Simply can't imagine living in the same house with a spouse that betrayed me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.